It's a great opportunity for us to connect with our suppliers and customers where we get to introduce our new ingredients. Yes, we'll definitely come back to MIFB next year.
The AT, the Korea Agro-Fisheries and Food Trade Corporation, we are promoting the Korean food in the exhibition abroad. And so for this opportunity, they met various buyers and also the know-how to penetrate into the Malaysian market, I think, like certifications or engaging their networks of the buyers too. Yeah, of course, we participated the MIFB annually. And of course, this is a big exhibition and we really want to eager to participate again.
We found tea products, we found seafoods and also dairy products, and it is overall very nice.
It's good to see some of the brands here. They do carry the machineries, the equipment that we were looking for, and we would suggest it to our clients. We want to see more. We're excited to see more, maybe next year.
I did. I found some amazing suppliers in the area that I've been looking for, and I've been connected to some amazing companies, and I look forward to work with them. It's great. I think it's a wide range of vendors in different areas. Not only I came here to look for suppliers that I specifically came looking for, but it has opened my eyes to a wide range of other brands and companies, not only locally but internationally. So I see more new opportunities coming here.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as it is going to be an interesting session regarding building sustainable agriculture supply chain through technology and innovation. I hope everyone is doing well. We urge you to stay at home and be safe. We from Malaysian International Food and Beverage glad to introduce another session at Future Food Webinar Series to everyone, and I'm Jaspreet, the host for this afternoon. I would like to introduce our key speaker of the day. Mr. Sariyo is the Chief Operation Officer of TaniHub Group and Director of TaniSupply, a company responsible for supply chain management under TaniHub Group, which operates an e-commerce platform TaniHub and peer-to-peer leading platform TaniFund. Sariyo is an expert in retail and fresh product with more than 20 years of experience under his belt. He also led Dairy Farm Indonesia, Hero Group, as Director of Fresh Products. This series highlights the agriculture industry and how to assess supply and demand and logistics through technologies. A better understanding of high ineffectiveness in the supply chain of fresh product and international market access on agriculture industry during the pandemic. Stay with us till end of the session to find out more in Mr. Sariyo's presentation. Before that, let me have a quick intro on MIFB, which stands for Malaysian International Food and Beverage Trade Fair, that provides opportunity to revitalize your business through an exclusive business-to-business platform with power-packed F&B services and solution providers. Thank you so much, Mr. Sariyo, for your time today. Before we end the session later, we will have a quick Q&A session with everyone. Please submit your question through the Q&A button below. Sariyo will love to answer all the questions related to agriculture. Without further delay, please join me in welcoming Mr. Sariyo. Sariyo, hand over to you now.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Hi, everyone. It is very nice to meet you all in this wonderful session. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, is my screen now visible for everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So I think this topic is a very interesting topic. Yet there are a lot of questions regarding how Indonesian agriculture and is doing now, and how technology can help to improve it. Well, as we've seen, the one of the reason why we have TaniHub Group is, Indonesian agriculture is very highly fragmented industry, and two big or two major groups of agriculture is, one is the industrial agriculture, which is large plantations and mostly owned by private sectors and managed by government or owned by government. The other side of the group is the very fragmented one, very smallholder farmings, where the land, it is less than 1 hectare, so mostly is 1/3 hectare, 2/3 hectare that they manage, and it is managed very traditionally. So we saw two problems from the buyers and the farmer side. From the farmer side, the geographically isolated locations. So, for example, like as we know, like urbanization, that is also happened in Indonesia as well. That more and more land are being acquired to build malls and housings. So the agriculture land is being now pushed far back and more isolated areas. So next one is the limited access to capital to expand their farmings, because in Indonesia mostly the farmers are still unbankable, so they don't have proper prerequisite that to get funding from banks and so on. Limited negotiation leverage on payment terms. So if they want to send their goods or sell their goods to larger industries, they will face problems like term of payments, longer term of payments. In industry, yes, it is easier for them to sell because they don't require certain, uh, specs. Yet the payment term is quite long, up to 2 to 3 months. So also they cannot negotiate quite well. And the next one is no access to data-driven inputs to enhance the farming. So since it is very traditional, there are still no, just like the, reference for them, because it is inherited from grandparents, parents, and so on. And then on the buyer side, of course, they also have another different pain points, right? So inconsistent supply, for example, the poor quality or maybe under spec, what we say here, and then lack of variety, because again, when the farming practice is inherited, so sometimes if by decades or by generations, they only plant only one or two items. So for example, tomatoes, then since from their great grandparents, they are tomato farmers. And then costly and time consuming process to source from suppliers, mostly like Indonesian vendors or suppliers. They are really a specialist player. So if you find avocado, the suppliers only supply avocado. They don't supply bananas. If you want to buy tomatoes, you can only buy tomatoes from certain farmers. So we cannot find a lot of such complete suppliers that can do all round. So the main pain point of the buyers in Indonesia mostly is they need to take care of, or they need to in contact of with hundreds of suppliers if they want to acquire or want to buy hundreds of items or from different categories. And again, the Indonesian farmers' condition mostly is around more than 75% practice traditional, like I mentioned before. More than 74% they still get only very low education, and then average income uh, also is very low. And maybe for your information, the the labor, even from for the the daily labor cost in for paying the daily labor or daily worker for farming, yeah, is considered one very low paid in Indonesia. So they also have problems in uh, getting very good farming labors. And then more than 61% is already old age. Uh, so sooner or later, Indonesia will face, uh, losing farmers, because the young farmers is still looking forward working for in other industry like banks and so on, because it is more luxurious, and they feel that they want to wear ties and so on. The next one is also the land, yeah, the land owning. And then like I mentioned in the early on my presentation, is more and more land now being more acquired to malls and housings. Now, what we are trying to answer here, we identified during the our uh, almost more than 5 years operating here. We identified there are a couple of problems or challenges. Number one is from pre-cultivation, so it's limited access to finance and buying inputs, no access to inputs, so the varieties still the same, not much options. Next is bare knowledge in the cultivation, even in the post harvest. In couple of my previous seminar, I mentioned that one of the major issues that sometimes we forget is not only cultivating, but after we cultivate and after we harvest, that comes the problem. Because like Indonesia, for example, we are archipelago islands, archipelago country. We have more than 30,000 islands. So it has another challenge where fresh produce, where the freshness need to be maintained, will have problems. So for example, traveling from uh, Jakarta or Surabaya, let's say Surabaya, East Java, it would take around 2 to 3 weeks, sea travel to in order to send our fresh produce to Papua or on the east of Indonesia. So if we want to go fast, we will do airplanes, but another challenge will come. It will increase the cost, and then so for example, yeah, one famous avocado. Well, in Indonesia, we have more than 30 types of avocados. One famous one is from Manado, is from South Sulawesi. It is very popular in Jakarta, but you know what, the transportation cost is one on one with the price of the product. So if the product cost in Manado is only 18,000, the freight cost is by using airplane is around 19,000 per kilogram. So uh, can it arrive safely? Yes. Can we arrive fast? Yes, by using plane. But the problem with is then the problem with the competitiveness of the price, and maybe that is one of the answer why Indonesian fruits and vegetables or Indonesian fresh products are not quite well known outside, because for example, we have more than 30 types of local durians that is taste as much good as Musang King or Blackthorn, but it is only well known in Indonesia, but cannot be sent outside because of the transportation cost is quite high, and the post harvest technology is not well managed. Next, the transportation, and then the processing and packaging. And in TaniHub Group, we also realize that the aspect of food safety is important. So that's why I think we are the first agri-tech that applies ISO 22000 food safety, HACCP, as well as the halal assurance system, as well as maybe as you know that Indonesia is one of the largest Muslim population country. So I think it's similar like Malaysia. Halal becomes one important factor in how our clients see we manage the business. Next is this is us. We call ourselves TaniHub Group. Yet in the first years we are well known as TaniHub. So it was founded back then in 2016, when a couple of young guys joining the weekend Google competition. Yeah, so they win the concept, so they start to build this company by by seeing the problem that in the media, in the television, that the tomatoes are thrown in the sewage or in the river, yeah, because the farmer were very frustrated, they cannot sell. So at that time they said that why not we build something to help the farmers, because at that time they see the problem of the offtake. So nobody buy, or they don't have very good positioning towards the buyers. And then a year after that we see that in fact the problem is not only on the market side. So the farmer also have difficulty in expanding their business. Yet on one hand, they cannot access the formal financial institution because of lots of things. So that's why we built TaniFund. At that time, we try to see how to help them, but in fact, we did not have money and enough capital. So that's why, let's build TaniFund. The basic is peer-to-peer lending. So we ask the Indonesian society or Indonesian population to help the farmers to access the financial area. And then next, after we have these two company, September 2019 we built one more company that is very logistic focused. We saw that the problem, when you have the access of market, you have the access of finance, you have the access of funding, but one major things that we think that it also play important parts in Indonesian agriculture is the value chain itself. So after it is cultivated, after it is harvested, then there comes another problem where logistic problem, and then the storage, the handling, the sourcing, challenges and so on. This is why we built the newest company, the youngest one which is TaniSupply, that handles the trade procurement, warehousing and handling, as well as the logistics. And recently we just launched our Tani Academy, and very soon we agree, or we realize as well that it is not only business side we need to take care, but we need to come back to the community. In what form? In the form of a foundation. So soon, in 1 or 2 weeks, we are going to launch our Tani Foundation. And then this is our ecosystem. This is what makes TaniHub Group different with other agri-tech player, because we are doing end-to-end process from cultivation with our TaniFund. So we build together the planning and harvesting, scheduling, and so on. Plus, we deploy our agronomists to help the farmers in identifying good practices, and then to be documented well, and then try to replicate it in other areas. And then TaniSupply in the middle to help with the logistics and the handling. And then on the far end is the sales side. So we help the farmers with uh, their harvest by tackling to almost all of the client type. So we can supply to food industry, end users. We have also B2C business. And then recently we have just reactivate our export 2 months on April, during 21st of April last month. We just did our reactivation of export to Uni Emirates Arabs and also to Singapore. And soon we are coming to Europe. We are having a special international trade director that is stationed in Europe, in Netherlands, so they can help us expanding in Europe. This is the technology. Of course, since the beginning, we mentioned only how we tackle the ground, but this is our back end and front end. In our back end, we have in our front end, we have farmer apps that the farmer can use this app to communicate with us when they're going to harvest, what price they are going to sell, what quantity, and where and when. And then on the front end side with the customer, we have client apps. TaniHub, again, firstly, we are maintaining B2B in the early days, but since 12th of December 2018, we launched our first application, which is very B2C. And then we have also crop monitoring apps, where the fellow of field officer or agronomist help the farmers to do this. And then lender website. So in lender websites, we are also in the middle of acquiring the license. I think we are already on the final stage of having the license from Indonesian Monetary Authority, so OJK. And then this is our Indonesian map. If you can see, to help you imagine, if you want to fly from the other tip of west of Indonesia, from Sumatra to Papua, it would take you more than 8 hours flight. So it is even nearer for us to fly to Malaysia rather than fly within Indonesia itself. Yeah. So at now, right the moment, we have 5 areas. We have just recently launched our National Fulfillment Center in Cikarang, and we have another facility in Bandung, in Kartasura in Central Java. We are also in Surabaya, and the newest one is in Denpasar, Bali. Soon we are going to Sumatra, Kalimantan, and East Indonesia. And I think 2 years ago, before pandemic, the team from Pharma already visited us. Then they said that whether it is possible for us to just plug and play in Malaysia. So we said, okay, it is interesting, but let us finish what we are doing in Indonesia first. Yeah. Here, I want to show you in the end of my presentation to help you to show video to help you to imagine how advanced we are with our technology and our facility. Masalah yang bertubi-tubi itu memaksa kita melihat bahwa kita perlu model warehouse yang lebih baru. Artinya kita mulai mesti misahin akses keluar sendiri, akses masuk sendiri. Muncullah NFC. Nah, NFC ini sebenarnya adalah sebuah DC besar. Tempat kita nanti akan mengirimkan barang-barang. Jadi ini adalah pintu gerbang kita keluar pulau sebenarnya. Di mana semua kategori kita lengkap, kemudian kita punya tempat penyimpanan yang besar. Untuk berbicara volume, bisnisnya adalah bisnis volume. Three line picking ini berarti kita ngerjain semuanya bersamaan, tidak lagi secara bergantian. Dengan kapasitas sebesar ini, kita diharapkan bisa menghandle sekitar 10.000 transaksi sehari. Dengan ada NFC ini, yang pertama adalah keakurasian. Keakurasian itu ujung-ujungnya adalah kepuasan pelanggan. Kecepatan proses itu juga berhubungan dengan kualitas. Kalau kita prosesnya cepat, tepat, artinya kualitas yang diharapkan sampai ke customer terima itu juga akan sangat bagus, sehingga ujung-ujung lagi kepuasan pelanggan. Kita sangat serius terjun ke industri pertanian tersebut. Kalau dari lahan kita ada TF, di tengah kita ada TaniSupply, di ujung kita ada TaniHub. Nah, harapan kami adalah dengan adanya NFC ini adalah langkah atau pintu berikutnya ke luar Jawa. Nah, ini menunjukkan bahwa kita kepingin agriculture for everyone ini tidak hanya ada di Jawa dan Bali, tapi kita bisa menjangkau dari Sabang sampai Merauke.
Saya harap sih semakin banyak produk yang bisa kita serap, semakin banyak petani yang bisa secara kapasitas maupun jumlah ya, semuanya kita bisa bantu, dan juga supaya kita juga layanan kita lebih cepat kepada customer.
Be patient. I have one more short video. This is our facility of in East Java. We call the facility Processing and Packing Center. This facility is the one and only in Indonesia. So we have the capability of doing the precise sorting. So we are, we are able to give you the precise spec for export purpose as well as domestic one. Well, that is the end of my presentation. Hopefully, it gives very fruitful, uh, presentation. I hand back to the host. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Sariyo, for your time today and good sharing regarding building sustainable agriculture supply chain to the technology and innovation. So for the Q&A, so let's head to the Q&A session as your presentation was quite, uh, sorry, your presentation was quite clear and all. So all the most of the questions. So anyone who there's no any question today, but if you have any question after this to ask Mr. you can also email to us, which is mifb@sphereexhibits.com.my, and we will for sure guide you from there and we will pass it to Mr. Sariyo. Okay, but there's a question, one question from me. So just because of this pandemic now, right? So if I know maybe a lot of people would like to know if regarding this pandemic, if people want product from you, right? So will it be fully sanitized, packed in a very careful way? Is it will be sanitized before it will be export, or it then whoever receive it they need to handle it?
Okay. It is a very good question regarding food handling. Of course, food safety is number one. So that is why I mentioned in my early presentation that we are applying now the ISO 22000, where
Okay.
all of the aspect of the food safety is be very precisely and well executed. Our staff, we do regularly screening for COVID. And then even though, for example, they said, they report that, they are not feeling well, they must stay at home at least 7 days, and
Yeah.
do the testing before they get back into the working situation. And then what we did is we sanitize the facility. We don't sanitize the product because we always advise that the product is a fresh product, and it will go to uh, the customers handling. And then during the pandemic, of course, we also launched one initiative, which was then followed by a couple of competitors, that we launched what we call touchless, so contactless delivery. So if the client feel that they don't want to meet, or they don't feel comfortable to meet the courier, they can put notes where to put the product. Maybe they hang it, or they put somewhere during when the courier arrive. Just break.
Okay. Yes, the safety and the sanitize of the environment is also very important, as you mentioned. Okay, so now there is questions coming in.
Yeah.
So let's answer the questions. Okay, how can we in touch with TaniHub to improve our service in Malaysia?
uh, I will give you my contact number later. You can always contact us at corporate services or corporate communication corporate communication at tanihub.com. I think my team is also safeguarding, and behind they will soon type it to you.
Yes, maybe your team can type it in the chat box so
Yes.
that it will be easier for all the attendees to look into it. And also, another question is the any IoT component from your facilities?
Yes, of course. If you see the video regarding the sorting machine, we are using IoT. Uh, if you see that the machine is able to do the sorting on the product based on the bricks. So previously, we need to get samplings and then use the digital refractometer, but this one you don't need to you need to take samples, so they go through cameras, high-speed cameras that can easily to direct the product based on the sweetness of the product, as well as the the skin condition. So if you say that you want the products, or let's say oranges, Indonesian is also well known as orange producer. For example, size 200 grams with bricks 20, or with bricks 13, and then you want to separate. Okay, I want them separated with size 150 grams with bricks 9. We can do it for you.
Oh, okay. So it can be customized.
Yes. So it's type of IoT. Then and soon we are applying IoT on farm. Yet at the moment not yet, because we are seeing that the priority of Indonesian farming is still on the market and funding side first. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So we proceed to another question. The next question is, for the newly launched B2C apps, how do you encounter the delivery matters where from end to end it will take some time? So how do we maintain the freshness of the product?
Very good question. Fresh product, you maintain the quality since the first mile, since on farm. So for example, like fruits, if you don't have full visibility from direct farm, then you will have problem when you buy on the third or fourth layer, where they mix the aging of the products. So the fruits can come the same day, same age, but it will rot faster than one to another because of that. So traceability also you need to maintain. So in other hand, simply I want to say that maintaining quality must come from the farm and then to the fork, and then you can see later where the biggest problem come from. So the challenge of B2C, one of the biggest challenge is how to arrive at the client's house or customer's house as fast as possible. There are a lot of methodology or strategy to do this. Yet it depends on your the local situation. Yeah. For example, how do we plan the delivery from our warehouse in Jakarta is very much different in what we are doing in Central Java and Surabaya.
Okay, okay. Okay, so the next question will be, pertaining the packaging and logistic, is that halal certified?
Sorry?
Pertaining the packaging and logistic that we have mentioned, right? Is that all halal certified?
Yes. Once we apply halal assurance system, we apply the halal side of logistic. So when we are doing that, then we are required to report the packaging, whether it is very it is halal certified or not, even the fleet as well. Yes, of course. So it is halal's operation side of halal certification. So it is not on the product. The product, of course, whether it is halal or not, is from the producers. So for example, meat, it is from the slaughterhouse that is halal certified. But once you don't do halal practice, for example, you deliver with non-halal product, pork, for example, then it will be ruined. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, what's the biggest market TaniHub provides service to besides Indonesia? Is there any bigger market that you're providing to?
At the moment, we are, like I mentioned, we are reactivating export to a lot of countries, to Singapore, to Arab Emirates. Soon we are coming to Europe. And Malaysia, we have discussed with several parties, but at the moment, I don't think, maybe it's because of the pandemics and so on, but
Yes.
we are very much open in any kind of collaboration. Yes.
Okay. So, as you have mentioned that you are keen to explore in Malaysia and all also. So that's also question related to it. Do you have any person contact in Malaysia to liaise with, or for easy communication, or is only direct to you, which is in Indonesia?
At the moment, it is still directly going to me uh, and my team. Soon we are going to open a representative office everywhere. But at the
Oh,
moment, we don't think that is still feasible in the early stage. Yep.
yeah. Okay. So I think we're having the another question. I think is the last question, where it be for your corporate monitoring app. What are the parameters that you monitor in the farmer's farm?
A lot of things, yeah. So, for example, we monitor the height of the crops from time to time. We monitor whether we gather information whether there are crop disease and other problems that they have, so that we can have early monitoring system, and then difficulties and so on, we measure. For example, we have also a project on the eggs, right? So we also monitor the chicken and so on, the size of the chicken, the the feed consumption for the crops. We monitor the fertilizers consumption and so on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Sariyo, for the great presentation today, and we're glad to have you for this webinar.
Same wise, same
And
wise.
thank you for answering all the questions. And if you miss out any questions, or you have more questions to Mr. Sariyo or to us, you can look at the chat box. You can email it to them. There's email provided. There's two email provided, and also you can also email to us, mifb@sphereexbiz.com.my. It is also provided at the chat box. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Mr.
contact
Sariyo.
us.
Sorry.
Yeah, contact us. We are open on any type of collaboration. No worry.
Yes,
As well
for
as
sure.
learning
If there's
from,
any,
from the
yes.
other parties.
Even if we have anyone who contact us, we will for sure pass it to you. So for your further information and for collaboration. Okay, thank you again, Mr.
Thank
Sariyo,
you.
for the great presentation, and we're glad to have you for this webinar. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Bye.
before we end this, thank you. Yep. So before we end our presentation today and end our session today, check out our upcoming webinar on various topics related to F&B industry. Link will be placed at the chat box below for registration for the upcoming webinar. Do register now. Thank you once again, and stay tuned with our future food webinar series. Have a great day ahead and stay safe.